In the heart of the whispering woods, where the pines hum ancient secrets and the streams chuckle over mossy stones, lies a town unlike any other. And in that town lives a Yeti unlike any other, our very own Bob. Night had fallen, draping the valley in a blanket of deep indigo velvet. But tonight, something was different. The air buzzed not with the usual chirping of crickets, but with hushed whispers. Down in the town square, everyone had gathered, their faces tilted upward. Old Man Hemlock squinted, his beard twitching. Young Lily, perched on her father's shoulders, pointed a small finger. "Look, it looks like giant fireflies." She was right. On the jagged peaks of the distant Dragon's Tooth Mountains, strange lights flickered and danced. They pulsed with a soft, ethereal glow, sometimes gold, sometimes silver, sometimes a pale, ghostly green. One moment they were there, a silent symphony of light. The next they were gone, leaving only the stars behind. The townsfolk murmured, their theories ranging from lost spirits to mischievous sprites playing tag. But Bob, ever the optimist, saw something else entirely. He puffed out his fluffy white chest, a wide grin spreading across his face. "Fireflies? Spirits? Oh, no, no, no. It's quite obvious what that is. That, my friends, is a midnight tea invitation." A few townsfolk chuckled, but Bob was completely serious. He scurried back to his cozy, oversized cave, humming a cheerful tune. A proper response was required. He couldn't just show up to a tea party empty-handed, and more importantly, he needed a better view. He emerged moments later, rolling two large, empty berry barrels. He stacked one on top of the other, wobbling precariously. Next, he rummaged through his collection of shiny things, a habit he'd never quite outgrown. He found what he was looking for, a collection of large glass jam jars, their bottoms thick and curved. He carefully placed them at one end of the top barrel. And for the grand finale, a magnificent gleaming kettle lid, polished to a mirror shine, which he fixed to the other end. "Behold, the Boboscope 3000, guaranteed to see all the way to the tea party and back." He peered into his magnificent, if slightly lopsided, creation. The world swam into a blurry, distorted view. He fiddled with the jam jars, twisting and turning them. "Aha!" he exclaimed as something came into focus. It was round, cratered, and brilliantly bright. "I see it! I see the giant teacup in the sky!" He adjusted the lens just a little more, and the image grew larger, and larger, and larger still, until the magnified moon filled his entire vision, a colossal, glowing orb seeming to rush right at him. "Whoa! Too much sugar!" He stumbled backward, tripping over his own furry feet and landing in a soft snowdrift with a muffled poof. The Boboscope 3000 teetered, then crashed to the ground, the kettle lid rolling away with a cheerful clang. The townsfolk burst into good-natured laughter. Just then, a figure emerged from the shadows of the ancient pines. It was the guardian, the wise old spirit of the forest. His form was woven from moonlight and moss, and his eyes held the depth of centuries. He moved without a sound, his presence bringing a hush over the square. He looked at the distant flickering lights, then at the snow-covered, slightly dazed Bob. "They are not an invitation for tea, dear Bob. The lights are beacons. It is a summons. The cryptid clans who dwell beyond the mountains are calling to one another." Bob scrambled to his feet, brushing snow from his fur. "Calling? Well, why didn't they just say so? We should go say hello. It's only neighborly." He looked up at the impossibly high peaks. It's a bit of a climb, isn't it? Don't worry, I have an idea." Before anyone could stop him, Bob was back at it, this time with a new, even more ambitious plan. He began gathering every crate he could find, apple crates, turnip crates, even a very small, very delicate crate that once held Mrs. Higgins's finest teacups. He started stacking them, one on top of the other, creating a teetering, wobbly tower that defied all laws of physics. "Just a few More! This ladder will get me there in a jiffy. It's all about proper engineering. He clambered up the precarious structure, his weight causing the crates to groan and shift. The tower swayed left, then right. He reached the top, triumphant, only to realize he'd built himself into a corner. His fluffy body was wedged tightly between the top two crates and a low-hanging pine branch. He was stuck. A little help? The fox, who had been watching the whole spectacle with an amused glint in his eye, simply sighed. He trotted over, nibbled patiently at a loose knot on the rope binding the crates, and with a gentle tug, the whole structure gracefully disassembled, depositing Bob softly onto the ground in a harmless pile of wood and hay. The guardian smiled, a rare and gentle sight. Your heart is in the right place, Bob. But this journey requires more than a ladder of crates. It is a path not taken by our people for 1,000 years. A serious mood settled over the town. The idea of one of their own venturing into the unknown, beyond the safety of the whispering woods, was daunting. The mountains were home to legends of shadow beasts and treacherous paths. But they also looked at Bob, his boundless optimism, his unbreakable spirit, his genuine kindness. If anyone could face the unknown, it was him. A town meeting was held. After much debate, and a persuasive argument from Lily, who declared Bob was the bravest Yeti she knew, the decision was made. Bob would be their envoy. He would journey to the Dragon's Tooth Mountains and discover the meaning of the beacons. The next morning was a flurry of activity. The townsfolk packed a bag for Bob with everything he might need. Warm scarves, a compass that spun in circles, a bag of his favorite frosted pine cones, and, of course, a large thermos of hot tea. They gathered around as Old Man Hemlock unfurled a dusty, ancient map. This is the only known chart of the outer territories, Bob. Be careful. The way is treacherous and— He was interrupted by Bob, who, in his excitement, was waving a cheerful goodbye to everyone. Don't you worry about a thing. I'll send a postcard. Maybe I'll even bring back some new friends for a proper tea party. As he waved, he tilted the thermos, and a stream of hot, sweet tea spilled right onto the center of the ancient map, smudging the ink and blurring the only known path into an unrecognizable brown stain. A collective gasp went through the crowd. Everyone stared in worried silence at the ruined map, then at Bob, who was still smiling, completely oblivious. What dangers lay beyond the mountains? And how would their beloved clumsy Yeti even find his way there now? Bob simply picked up his pack, gave one final happy wave, and with a cheerful hum took his first step into the great, wide unknown. The journey had begun.